I have traveled close to 30 hours from Peru to here because I was invited by one of the youngest men in Israel, a man who is not afraid about changes, a man who still can dream with his eyes open, a man who looks at the future, organized conference about tomorrow, and a man who is so obsessed with social media. So I want to pay tribute to my close friend, Shimon Peres. Secondly, when I finish this meeting, I want to talk to my friend Stanley Fischer to ask him how can a former president could become an Ole Hadash. My friends, the world is so interrelated, but we need to take it to pieces. And I want to make some remarks about the emerging markets. There is no doubt that if the European Union is not able to encapsulate its crisis in Greece, in Portugal, in Spain, in Italy, in Ireland, that might travel to the United States, and hopefully will not travel before November of this year. Because if it does, then we might have some serious problems. Secondly, China is playing a crucial role in today's world economy. And the world has changed. Before 2008 and before 2009. And let me make a footnote again. Latin America 50 years ago were known as the sources of disorder, import substitutions, crisis, hyperinflation. My country produced 2.5 million% inflation in 5 years. But with all due respect, the crisis of 2008 or 2009 was not produced by Latin America. Latin America no longer is the problem. It's part of the solution. China is today the main trade partner of Latin America. And China is a bulldozer. The problem is that it's buying raw material. As the previous speakers have said, one of the greatest ability of the United States that produces products with aggregate value. And that's one of the greatest advantages. Yet we are selling gold, silver, copper, fish meal to China. In 8 years, we have become now the main partners. Some estimates by the World Bank has indicate that for each 1% of GDP dropped in the United States, it would have 2.5% adverse impact in Latin American economy. Let me repeat this, that for each 1 point drop of GDP in China, it will have 2.5 adverse impact in Latin America, given the intensity of our trade and whatever the buying. And that is very dangerous. It's very vulnerable because we are not making the transition. Now that Latin America is doing very well, 6% average the last 10 years. Peru is growing between 8 and 9% the last 10 years. Inflation is 1.5%. Fiscal deficit, I don't want to try to compare it with the United States. We're doing very well. We have a lot of money in the fiscal side, but we are not using it to make the qualitative jump to invest in what Israel has done. And that gives me the great opportunity to pay tribute to what Israel has done in 64 years. Now you understand why I want to become an Ole Hadash. If we do not take advantage of the levels of economic growth and the sources of income to translate it, and this is my point of my participation, and investing in the minds of our people, independently whether you resolve your financial crisis. You will have another financial crisis later on, don't worry about it. But if we don't make the qualitative jump to invest in healthcare, and potable water, and sanitation, and educational quality, in the minds of our people, we might lose the train because the natural resources that we export, the gold, the silver, the gas, the oil, they're finite, they're non-renewable. And so that's what you people did. And you guys should feel absolutely proud of what you have done. Moreover, I mean, 6% unemployment in Israel, 4% growth, 3% for the 2012. And you can do that despite the politicians. Now, not only politicians, but I mean, the neighborhood is not very kosher. Now I have to confess a challenge that we have. Latin America is the most promising continent of Latin America for the next 10 to 15 years. But we have a serious problem. Not only making this qualitative jump to invest in the minds of our people, and this is an invitation for the investors. We run the risk of collapse by success. The economy is growing at 8 or 9%, but energy is not growing at 8 or 9%. The economy is growing at 8 or 9%, but infrastructure is not growing at 8 or 9%. The economy is growing at 8 or 9%, but water is not growing at 8 or 9%. Oh, we have a bottleneck. We can have a collapse by success if we do not make, with sufficient anticipation, the medium and long-term investments that we need to do to cope with what's coming in these emerging markets. My friends, the combination of the European crisis, the combination of the behavior of the economy of China, and if we are able to make this qualitative jump to which I have mentioned, we can become the continent and hopefully we could have a better investment and trade relationship with the United States. For next year, when I come and to visit my youngest friend in Israel, maybe we can talk about how can we build a bridge that shortens Israel with Latin America. Thank you very much.